Hey there YouTube! Recently, I decided to sign up for NetGalley, and NetGalley is basically a site where like book reviewers, librarians, booksellers, people who talk about books a lot can go and request ARCs or advanced reader copies from publishers in order to review. This is kind of like a popular-ish thing around BookTube, and I thought that finally I would kind of try to jump into NetGalley myself. My reason for wanting to do this is to try and bring you guys some more like upcoming type of stuff. A lot of my content right now is focused on like what I'm reading right now, and hopefully in the future I can start to kind of update you on what is coming out and what I'm going to be reading. It's a long process, and it's kind of a lot of me figuring out the best way to do that and how to get all the information, and NetGalley is one of the good ways to do that. Of course, with the reviews that I'm bringing you here today, all of these are out already. Originally this video was going to come out before the last one of these books that I'm going to review came out, or at least on the release date, but I had bronchitis, so I could not talk. So today I'm going to be bringing you 3 reviews for my very first NetGalley picks. These 3 reviews span from I did not like it at all to oh my god, I am obsessed. Let's jump on into the reviews. That was so corny. These are going to be in the order from like the one I did not like to the one that I loved. The first one is called A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation. And so this is from Tokyopop, and it is by Momochi. This manga is about a noble who is transported into a different world. So he's moved from his fantasy world to another fantasy world. And basically it's his quest to become an adventurer, and there's something about nobles being adventurers in this world that I am not 100% certain on. To be honest, I didn't pay much of attention because I was very bored. But anyway, he like meets up with this other adventurer to kind of show him the ropes and kind of see what's going on with this world. There's a little bit of mystery to this like partner that he chooses, and to the noble, and to why he's in this world, and like really what he's all about. But I feel like that was kind of really downplayed and not super important, and this is going to be more of a slice of life in a RPG like fantasy world. And that's really what it is it is a RPG in manga format. I really felt like when I was reading this that I was going through the tutorial in like a Final Fantasy game, but like not a good Final Fantasy game. You do basic things like get gear, join like a guild, I think, collect party members, they do like a dungeon, they fight monsters in a field, and it just like did not interest me at all, to be honest. I was just kind of looking for manga that I could kind of start out with, get my feet wet on NetGalley, and to be honest, I did not like this one at all. It's very far from what I read at all, and I think I was kind of like in a click happy mode, I guess, and kind of see what. I didn't think I was going to get approved for anything because I'm so new, but I did get approved for a few things, and this is one of them. So yeah, I think maybe if you like kind of RPG-like stories that are kind of slice of life, this would definitely be for you, but it is so far from what I am normally interested in that I just did not enjoy it at all. It really did feel like a tutorial, and I want a little more story in my manga, you know? Number 2 is the one that was kind of middle of the road for me, and it is called There Are Things I Can't Tell You by Edoko Mofu, and this is also from Tokyopop. This is a one-shot BL manga about 2 childhood friends who have recently reconnected. They have very differing personalities, and they're kind of coming to terms with how they used to feel about each other and how they maybe still feel about each other. I have not read much BL. I've read a few. I read like Gravitation back in the day. I used to read a lot of like yaoi fanfiction, which I know is very different than the BL genre, and just like I don't have much exposure to BL manga, so this was kind of like my first foray into it. So this story was super it was short and sweet, you know. It was really emotional, kind of these 2 guys trying to figure out how they feel about each other and how they felt about each other, and kind of trying to escape their kind of terrible things that are going on in their life. There was a little bit of dealings with like internalized homophobia in this, which I thought was really good. Kind of like discussion. There were some things with like the parents, how would my parents feel if I was like with a man, that sort of thing. But also I don't know if that's just like a common thing that's with BL. As I've said, I am no expert. I have read very, very few BL stuff, but I do know that there are some criticisms of a lot of the genre. I don't know if this falls into it. Like I said, I am not like in the know with BL manga, so if anybody is a little more, I guess, educated than me, I would like to know, but it seems like maybe for this genre, especially the ones that are like directed towards like women, you know, who want to read about these relationships, like that it's very like centered around, I don't know, like a taboo, like it's a taboo subject, you know, like being gay, and kind of like, oh, I hate myself for this, I shouldn't do this, it's so wrong but it's so right sort of thing. So I don't know, I don't feel like this manga was really going in sort of like the like borderline fetishizing it territory. It seemed like a very real discussion about like these characters' sexualities and like where they fell into each other's lives and things like that. So I don't know if it was really on there, but that's kind of like one of my waverings with BL and going into that genre. I just want to be really careful and educated for it. But I don't feel like this was kind of like on the borderline fetishizing section of the genre, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it was pretty good. There's a little bit of spice in it, which I was not expecting, which also probably comes from me not being very familiar with the genre. So I was kind of shocked, but it's okay. It was fine. It wasn't horrible or anything. I'm not saying like, oh no, I don't want to see that. I'm saying more like it kind of snuck up on me. If you don't like any spice in your manga, then like be aware that it's in here. One of the things, like the storytelling things that I didn't really enjoy, or I kind of enjoyed, is that there's a lot of flashbacks in this because the characters are ruminating on feelings they had in the past, and so you kind of see the same situations from both characters' perspectives with like similar thoughts attached to them, but you see the same situation two different ways, which is kind of interesting, but it also did feel a little bit repetitive in a one-shot manga, so take that with what you will. Definitely being a newbie into kind of like the BL genre, I thought this was a really like cute, sweet story. So I think if you like kind of sweet stories, then go ahead and check this one out. And number 3, my manga that I am obsessed with is Prince Freya Volume 3. Prince Freya. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm obsessed with this series, and this is really the reason I wanted to make this video, is to talk about this manga. So if you remember the last time I talked about Prince Freya, I was distraught. Part of me is like, they can't do that to us without it being okay, but like, I don't know, it might not be okay, and I'm just like, I'm very upset, and I need to know. And I just want to let you know, things are better now. They're not completely better, but they are better. I'm not as like distraught as I was from the end of volume 2. So Prince Freya, if you don't know, is about this girl Freya. She is from a like humble country town. She has 2 childhood friends. They are knights. They recently returned. There's a war going on, and one thing leads to another, and Freya, who looks suspiciously like the prince of this country, ends up having to take the place of the prince as the prince dies. Basically, they do this so that the country doesn't lose hope in this huge war that they are fighting. So the story is about Freya kind of learning what it means to be a ruler and like basically experiencing this war and all of the like basically horrible things that go on with it, and some of the good things, I guess, if there are any good things about war. But it's really a story about Freya's growth and kind of the mission of this country and what it means to inspire, and like basically about hope. This series has so much. There are politics, there's romance, there's love, there's betrayal, there's war, there's fighting, there's cute knights, like it's the whole package. It's so good. Volume 3 really delves into like really what it means for Freya, or what it means for the prince to be a leader in this country, and really what it means for them to like help out the army and really be this country's hope. She really learns what it means to be inspiring and what inspires her men. And by men, I don't mean like her suitors, I mean like her army. I will say that this manga is violent. Like the first volume is incredibly violent. There is some upsetting and violent deaths. So if you can't deal with kind of like violence and blood and war and stuff like that, maybe don't read this one because it's a lot sometimes. If you're okay with that, then definitely check it out because it is so good and I can't wait to read volume 4. Since Freya just came out, it came out on October 6th, so like last week from the time of filming this. So definitely go check it out. I think volume 4 comes out in a few more months. It might be next year. It's probably next year. It probably comes out next year. I'll put the date when it comes out. But yeah, it's so good. Go buy it, please. I have not purchased my copy of volume 3 yet, but probably at the end of the month I will be collecting it. I just have to pay my bills first. There you have it, my very first NetGalley reviews. I have a few more things on NetGalley that I'm reading. If you want to know my immediate thoughts on it, I do put the reviews in my Goodreads. I don't use Goodreads a whole bunch, but I definitely make sure to put my NetGalley reviews in Goodreads. On Twitter, I'll probably talk about them, and on Instagram a little bit sooner than I will on YouTube, but I will definitely try to like keep up with what I'm reading and let you know about the stuff that I read or that I get on NetGalley before it's released, unlike this video. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, what you thought about, or what upcoming manga you are really excited for. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more manga, bookish, nerdy sort of content from me. And if you want to know right when I upload a new video, hit that notification bell to know right when I upload a video. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!